morning.
In the morning. It's actually in the morning. So again, guys, we don't have this big professional studio to do all this in. And sometimes we're dodging when the kids are up and we're dodging when the dogs are out, all the things in life and appointments. The other day, Jailex had an appointment at 7:30 at night.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. So
then the day before, like 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah. So we get these in when we can. We get these in, and it's currently 7 a.m. in the morning, and we're gonna knock one of these out.
And our house may start waking up soon.
Yeah, so we're gonna try and get moving on it. All right. Before all of that happens, Heavenly Father, I thank you so much for this day. I thank you for all of the beautiful weather that you've been giving us lately. I thank you for all of the provisions that you put in our lives. I thank you for the health and the welfare that you've given each and every one of us. And I pray that we steward it in the best way possible. I pray that all the words in this podcast go out to the ears that need to hear it, Lord. We love you. We praise you. It's in your mighty, mighty name. Amen. All right. So kick us off a little bit. Where were we? What are we talking about now?
We were in Philly. Jailex got the CAR-T, and then shortly after, I think it was like within 48 hours, he got a fever and started having like some minor neurological symptoms. But the biggest red flag was the fever.
So what?
I'm not a morning person, y'all.
So we've literally got three cameras set up, one on every single face. So everything we got going is right there in your face.
Well, it's good because from the side it looks like I'm just bug-eyed, but it's fine.
It really
it's just my eyes are sticky.
All right. Sorry, guys.
Allergies.
Yeah.
So for all this time, like fevers have been a really huge thing for him. Like when he had a port in his chest, and that port is a foreign object in his body. So fever could be an infection surrounding that. Could cause septic. So anything over like, what was it, like 100.3? We were in the hospital before it. And this is like 100.3 one time, not 100.3 3 times in an hour or whatever, like one time, and we're in the hospital. Sometimes that was for nothing. Sometimes we would, whenever we were 2 hours from the hospital, we'd get to the hospital and they'd be like, he doesn't have a fever, Tara. And I'm like, oh no, he did. And then we're in the hospital for 3 days and he's on antibiotics and it was like basically nothing. So
they would admit every single time.
Yeah. Yeah. His doctors, his original doctors would, which is fine because they were being super cautious. Here, I feel like they're a little bit more lax, but it's also kept us from having as many admissions. So,
which is nice.
Yeah. And never a time that I felt like we should have absolutely been admitted and we weren't, But anyway, so Philly, he spiked a fever and I gathered up all of our stuff that we could possibly need in the hospital and took an Uber.
Oh, from the
apartment to because I didn't have a car.
Yeah.
So we had to take an Uber and I had to have like literally everything. And y'all, whenever I say everything, some of our nurses should probably be watching this and they're going to tell you, but like Tara takes pillows, pillow for me, a pillow for Jailex, blankets. Jailex has stuffed animals that he takes. He's got his electronics. I've got my electronics. We take snacks. We take creamer. We take coffee. Like, and especially in Philly, they don't have coffee on the floor for the nurses. I think that's illegal. But we take everything. So I had like a bunch of bags that I had brought down and waited for the Uber. And then when I got to the hospital, I'm like putting him in a wheelchair and like rolling all of these bags to the deal. But so we were admitted. It was either the 3rd of July or the 4th of July that we were admitted, but I know that we were in the hospital for the 4th of July. So I was super sad that we didn't get to spend the 4th of July in Philly.
I actually think it was like, because I seem to remember, not that the date totally matters, but I seem to remember thinking, well, maybe they could get out in time for the 4th of July.
Yeah, maybe.
Seems like maybe you went in on the 1st.
I don't remember.
Or the 2nd, and I was like, man, maybe, and then it just didn't play out.
I was just super sad that we weren't able to do 4th of July festivities in Philly, literally where 4th of July started. And then we couldn't even see like the fireworks and stuff because our window was facing a parking garage, which also made me super sad. We could hear them, but we couldn't see them. And Jailex was too sick to get out of the bed and try and find like
side note for children's hospitals, every bedroom window needs to see something other than a parking garage or a wall or the roof of another building or something, like
even if it's in the distance, like something.
Yeah, these kids and the moms too, but these kids and the moms too, like it gets a little dreary and you don't really leave the room. Not, there's
in some situations. Yeah.
There's a point where you can start leaving the room, but for the first bit, nobody's leaving that room.
Yeah. I wasn't going to leave him by himself. He was too sick to get up and go to a different window to see.
Yeah, couldn't even hardly get himself to the bathroom many times.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just like sat there listening and like sad. But, they had also told us that, or told me that when they did because he had just had a bone marrow biopsy and a spinal tap, like right before they did the T cells. And they had told me that he was gearing up for a relapse. Like the cancer cells weren't at the point that he was relapsed, but he was gearing up for a relapse.
So what was the steps? What they said that, and then kind of what was the next thing that had to happen
as far as
treatment?
Oh, we just waited because he had gotten the T cells. So we just waited and waited to see what was going on. So one of the side effects of CAR T can be a fever, can be neurological symptoms, and like the higher the cancer cell count when they give the T cells, the more likely they are to have the neurological side effects. They're all temporary. They go away. They also have like treatments for them and stuff. And we had Jailex like preemptively on some medication to prevent like to try and prevent like the psychological side effects or the neurological side effects, because he had an issue the first time that he got T cells. So they were telling us like, it's probably going to be a few weeks. You're probably going to be in here for a couple of weeks, waiting for this to calm down, waiting for these side effects to go away. And 2 days later, we were back in our apartment. So, which is kind of, again, Jailex's nurses could tell you is kind of the norm for Jailex. Like sometimes he tanks really quickly, and then just as quickly as he tanks, he's recovered.
God's got him.
And yeah, every single time, he just, whenever he doesn't, then we're like, what is going on?
Yeah, that's when everybody really starts to kind of flip not lose it, but flip out a little bit. Like,
this isn't normal Jailex. What are we doing?
Yeah, why is Jailex not recovering? Like he's a bounce back kid. Like,
yeah,
cancer hits him, but knocks him down, but he bounces right back all the time. So when he doesn't, that's kind of where the nerves start kicking in a little bit, or
Yeah.
at least for me.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and Dr. K too would be like, what are we doing, Jailex? What are we doing? It's
All
been
the
4
time.
days now. You're usually better in 2 or 3. What are we doing? Like, you're just a puzzle that we got to figure out. But,
For all of you that just saw, that was my nephew walking behind my wife with no shirt.
we can use a different angle. It doesn't have to be all that. But, so we went back to the apartment. I know there was a like Chinese lantern festival right around the same time that we went to. Jailex really enjoyed that. We got to see a lot of stuff in Philly. But overall, we did doctor's appointments every couple of days and then once a week and whatever. But really, it was all about we spent a lot of time together and seeing different stuff. We saw like the first post office and the first theater and the first parks and the first zoo. Philly, you got a really cool zoo. Cheyenne Mountain is still my favorite zoo, but Philly would be a very close second. They have a very cool zoo.
San Diego Zoo's the best. I don't care what anybody says.
I mean, they do have pandas.
Just San Diego.
Nah. Cheyenne Mountain's better. But, and I've been to zoos all over the world. Cheyenne Zoo is my favorite, but Cheyenne Mountain. But anyway, we just did a lot of stuff together, a lot of like walking around. Jailex and I figured out like living in the city. We're both country people. And we kind of figured out living in the city. And then, you and Alina came out. The King's Brotherhood like got y'all tickets.
Man, yeah, that was such a cool thing, and it speaks to why community is so important. Yeah, like so I joined a business mastermind it's a God-focused business mastermind. So I had a lot of like-minded people around me. And they got together, they felt our situation, they got together and because we weren't going to get to come out. Alina and I, specifically, like we weren't going to get to come out and visit. And they got together, they raised up the funds, they bought our airline tickets, they gave us a little bit of eating out on the town money, whatever. They got us to and from Texas to Philadelphia. And we got to spend the better part of a week with Tara and Jailex, and we had not seen them, touched them, felt them in person
been a couple of months.
For a couple of months, and we had a couple of months possibly to go on this whole ordeal. So getting to go out there was such a huge deal. Guys, get yourself surrounded by people, surrounded by the right people, building into your church, into different communities, whether they're even some online communities and things like that. Like jump into those too. Just get around people that can lift you up and people that can pray for you and people that can do things for you. I know that you've got a connection with the Women of Faith, with Nakia.
Yeah. Sorry, my mind. Well, I think
it's not as much as where I'm going. It's just talking about community and having people.
Yeah,
around.
for sure. Sorry, I was thinking about like with the King's Brotherhood that it was like they knew what I was spending on an Uber daily because they were sending money specifically for Jailex and I to use the Uber.
Yeah,
and it was always like the right amount.
Yeah.
It was always the amount that I needed. And it's like $36 to go from our apartment to the hospital. It's like 1.5 miles. But Jailex can't walk.
22 minutes to go that 1.5 miles though.
Yeah. And Jailex can't walk that far. Like normally he could walk that far without an issue. Jailex hikes all over the canyon and does all of the, like, he loves to walk. He loves to do all the stuff, but at that time he couldn't do it. Yeah.
So community is a huge thing.
Community is huge. We have the Panhandle Angels. We have Women of Faith now, our church, our family, our very small town.
Shout out Uncommon Church. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah. Our very small town that, you know, my hometown people that I've known pretty much my entire life, the people that I went to school with and whatever, they're like just always been there, always been a support.
It's so crazy, y'all, because if you ever been in a small town atmosphere, like everybody knows everybody's business and everybody can be beefing with each other or whatever. But the second that town needs to come together for somebody in the community that really needs it, it was unreal. Like the amount of love and support that Clayton, New Mexico gave us in Union County.
Yeah.
And granted, like we poured into that community over and over and over again, and had no expectation of anything. But the level of which that community came back to us, I feel like was multifold of anything we ever did for them.
Yeah, 100%. And then it wasn't just Jailex. There was Peyton was sick. She got sick a couple of months. Like she got sick in May because they found out on Mother's Day that she had cancer, and then Jailex got sick in July, and they were supporting Peyton and us, you know, and it's just so. And Peyton's dad and I went to school, and Alina and Peyton went to school, together, But yeah, it's really amazing, and I don't know, you just don't know and understand what community does for you and how it helps in the situation until it helps. And I'm not super involved in a lot of stuff. I've not always been like people-y person or whatever. And then definitely with Jailex, like, you remember whenever we met Haley and her family, and because they were clients
of ours, and I was training their dog,
and you had met them, and then Haley reached out to me and was like, hey, our kids are the same age. And I told JJ, I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this. Like, I want a friend, and I feel like I need to take applications for friends, but it was COVID, and I was like, what am I supposed to say? Like, I can't come to your house. You can't come to my house. We could make a coffee date, but I'm probably going to cancel on you. We could make a play date at the park, but I'm probably going to cancel on you because I was in the hospital all throughout COVID with Jailex. Like, we were pretty much in the hospital for a year. We were just home for a week or two and then back in the hospital for a few weeks and then home for a week or two. And I was like, I just don't know. But Haley and I talked on Messenger all the time, and Bodie and Jailex were talking on Xbox.
They hadn't even actually met each other, and they became such good friends just through playing video games.
They played video games for like 2 years before they ever met in person.
Yeah, and they were laughing. It was so good. So they always say laughter's the best medicine.
And Jailex has an infectious laugh.
He does. He so much does. And it was good medicine for us.
Yeah. And for him, like Bodie.
Sure.
Bodie. Jailex's best friend for a lot of years.
That's why we keep this box right.
Right.
Because she's a crier.
I am.
Another way, good.
And even last night, Haley, sent a message and was like, we're praying for you. Bodie asks about Jailex all the time. And like, they're not on Xbox as much anymore, but Bodie lives on a farm and he got goats and horses and stuff. So don't blame him. But, they just like, and Bree was there for Alina, and like the four of them would play video games and have video calls and stuff like that. And it was just like the coolest thing. Somebody that, like, this family were clients and then they became our friends.
Yep. And
we have a handful of those.
We do. Yeah. Real friends that you just didn't expect them to be in the mix. You didn't expect them um to become such a key part of things for you. And we don't even talk to we don't even talk to everybody all the time. But it's amazing how God will bring them back up for you
Yeah.
when you need it. And I think yesterday was a perfect example of that. Haley came in and just made some comments on Facebook, evidently sent a message. Like the timing of that was
Yeah.
just, I think, right.
Yeah.
You know, yesterday and lately things have been, back to being a little bit tough, and we'll get to that here in the next couple of episodes. But so let's get back to Philadelphia. We come out to visit. You guys spend about another month and a half or so in Philly, and I think am I remembering? Was the last month and a half was fairly uneventful.
Yeah, it was pretty
Yep.
uneventful. Like there was times that we were just hanging out in the apartment because, Jailex had a lot of spinal fluids and a lot of bone marrow biopsies, just checking to see where things were at. And bone marrow biopsy is no joke. Like they drill into your bone and they pull out like a sample of your bone marrow, and he has to recover from that. And he does really good, but he also like needs to spend a couple of days like not walking around and stuff. So those days we'd spend in the apartment building Legos, and that's kind of whenever God started telling me like, you're gonna write this book or these books. I don't know how many, but you're gonna start writing.
Well, okay. So we hadn't really told the world
No,
that you've been doing that.
no,
This has been a 3-year project going
yeah,
right now. So I want to be clear. You guys came back from Philly. We're back here. We're on CAR T cell treatment number 2.
yeah.
And Jailex is doing pretty dang good. Um, However, during this whole time, behind the scenes, Tara has been diving headfirst into this project that God put on your heart. Do you want to give a 30-second overview of what that kind of is?
I don't even know. Like, I feel like I'm writing like 3 books at one time, but there's just like a lot of testimony in there, a lot of teaching biblically, a lot of teaching or talking about being advocates for our kids. I honestly, I don't know everything that I'm writing yet. Like, really,
And she's got so much written. That's crazy that you still don't.
I just don't know
God
how it's
hasn't
going to
given you
come
that
all
clarity
together.
yet.
No, I just don't know how it's going to come all together. But
Okay.
it's coming together. So
All in God's timing. Been 3 years of writing. If it takes another 3 years, that is what it is.
yeah, 100%.
And if it all comes together this year, awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
It's going to reach the right person. So, it's been a super cool project to watch. Sometimes I lose my wife, at 10 o'clock at night, and she's gone for the next 3-4 hours, writing, and she's got Bibles everywhere and tablets and her little, I don't even know what that notebook taker thing
Remarkable.
is.
It's the best gift on the planet. JJ bought it for me a while, but whenever I started writing.
Yeah.
And he bought it for me because I take notes on everything, and I go through all sorts of notebooks and stuff, but it's an electronic notebook, and it is the absolute best thing ever.
It took away a lot of the clutter of notebooks, guys. That's really what it was.
I still have notebooks because I like Office Max. It was my favorite store. Yeah.
So, all right. And when that all comes together, you guys will be the first to find out. Well, now Jailex is back. Things have been going really
So we moved as soon as we got back.
Yeah.
We literally moved 2 days after we got back.
Okay. So I guess I can't remember. I thought maybe we had already talked about that. I guess not, because we're at that point. I'll give you the quick breakdown of what happened here. We were coming up on the end of a lease, and we started
That we had extended twice.
that we had extended a couple times because of Jailex, whatever. And we're like, all right, we're gonna be out by this date. And the landlord already put things together and had somebody else ready to move in. So we my niece and I, it's my nephew's wife. We call her our niece, just to be clear. She's my little roll dog, drives me insane, but she's the homie for real. Do what?
That's because she's you.
Probably quite a bit, yes. But her and I started going out looking at houses all over the place. And we're trying to find something that fit everything for all of our needs. We saw a handful of like really cool houses and really great places
all over the Metroplex.
all over everywhere, all over DFW kind of. And had one house that I was like, all right, this is an awesome house. We can absolutely live here. And God kind of made everything weird about it. And I was like, I told the realtor, I was like, we'll take that one and whatever. God made it weird, and we backed out of that one.
God made it weird. He told me.
No, so this is a different house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this was the first big house down by Irving.
Okay.
And like I said, God made it weird, and it just didn't feel right. And I told the realtor, I was like, bro, you're making this entirely too much more than what it needs to be. So I'm out. And I've always lived business life and personal life like that. As soon as things start to feel like they're just a little janky or whatever, just walk away. You don't have to dig into that so much. Don't force things. That's a big thing for me. But so then we find a house. Guys, when I tell you this is the most gorgeous house on the lake, private access to the lake, like the kids would have just had plethora of space to run around.
The back porch face the lake,
huge backyard. Sunroom sunset. That faces the lake. The sunset was landing perfectly every single day, to shine in your eyes as you were sitting on the back porch. But I was so overly excited about this. I was overly excited. This was like, because I'm a water dog. Okay, I'm not a land dog. I want to be near the water, in the water all the time, and I've allowed life to keep me from that quite a bit. But now, I find this place that's going to allow me just to be ample access to the water all the time. We then get in, everything's put into place. We are going to get this place, right? Like paperwork's in place. We're getting ready to put money down, all the stuff. So we have movers. Movers are getting ready to come get our stuff, and one day they're going to take it from here and put it over here.
And it was like an hour from our church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we had already been making that hour-long drive to go to different churches as we were searching out churches. So it didn't really matter. We're like, we can do that drive. It's the same amount of distance, 35, 40 minutes to get to work. So that didn't change anything. And we were already used to making long drives to go check out different churches and whatever. So if we had to go back to that, it was okay.
Sometimes it takes 20 minutes to drive a mile here.
Welcome to the city.
Yeah.
But we were watching church online on the live stream because I was homesick.
And I was in Philly.
And you were in Philly. And
Pastor Brad started talking about everything that God's been laying on his and Josie's hearts for the church and the Mid-Cities area.
Yep.
And then God laid it super heavy on my heart that we were supposed to be in the Mid-Cities area, that we needed to stay in Mid-Cities.
Yeah. So that's Tara sends me a text message. It says, God just said.
Kind of right in the middle of church.
That house isn't, that house isn't the one we're supposed to take. And I immediately wanted to fire back and just be like,
someone went by the lake.
No, I was like,
I'm not a lake person, but
yeah. But that wasn't it. I was just like, we've got movers coming. Everything's in place. What are you talking about? And I think it was it was like 6 days. In 6 days, we have no place to live here and we need to be in over there.
I'm supposed to sign the lease for this place in the morning. You were.
Yeah. And, so I resisted the urge to be like, you're crazy. That's not what we're doing. Like, I'm a man of this house. We're going to just take what I've already got in place. So I went in and I texted the landlord and I was like, or the realtor, and I was like, hey, here is what my wife said. She said that God told her, and I hope you understand this, that is not the house for us. I watched little bubbles come up on the phone. I watched little bubbles go away. Little typing bubbles come up and little erasing typing bubbles go away. And I was like, oh, bro, she's about to hammer. This is like, we've gone through so much to get to this point. And she came back and after erasing her words probably 5 times, she said, well, when God speaks, you have to listen. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Find me another home. So the very next day, and we've only got a couple minutes left, so I want to get through this. The very next day, I'm sitting in with a client. We're doing a go home class, whatever. And my phone just keeps blowing up and blowing up and blowing up. And I'm like, I am so sorry, ma'am. Let me shut this thing off. If not, it's not going to shut up. That's my realtor. We're trying to find a place. And we're on a short notice. So they're just kind of throwing me all the places that they have available or whatever that we could get into immediately. And she goes, well, I have a place. And I was really like, no, my realtor's got it. You know, they know exactly what we're looking for, all this kind of stuff. And she's like, yeah, if you're interested, you know, I can tell you about our place. And I'm like, well, we'll just worry about your dog. And then I was like, okay, what do you have? Because now I'm just intrigued. I was like, what do you have? She's like, it's a house. It's in Grapevine, which is not far from the church, whatever. And I was like, how many bedrooms is it? Because I need 5 bedrooms. She's like, it's 5 bed, 4 bath. So, okay. And then I was like, where's it located? And she's like, it's located in Grapevine. I'm like, that's like 12 minutes from the church. And then I said, well, does it have a pool and a hot tub? And she's like, because I'm trying to throw everything at her to disqualify this house. And she's like, it does. You got to be kidding me.
And then you mentioned the lake. And she was like, it's 3 minutes away.
I was like, yeah. She's like, it's 3 minutes from the lake, all the rooms, all the bathrooms that we need. And
the schools are like within a mile and a half. Like
Yeah.
two schools.
And phenomenal school district, the whole 9
Yeah.
yards, everything about it. God said, here you go. I know that I told you not to do the other one. You listened faithfully, and I put something in front of you. So we go and I do a walkthrough, and then I did a video call with Tara. She's still in Philly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, here's the house. Look at it, whatever. Here's the whole thing. And she's like, that could work.
Yeah.
That could work. And I was like, okay, what about this? This part of it isn't just exactly right. This part, and I like this, but what about this? And there was just these things that kept kind of popping in to my head that I was honestly still trying to slightly disqualify the house. And Tara's like, no, I think we can work with that. We can work with that. We can work with that. And I was like, okay. So I turned to my client and I said, when would this be available? Because I've got movers coming in 4 days now. And she's like, we're having it painted today, or today and tomorrow. We're having the entire inside of the house painted. And then it's yours.
Yeah.
And I was like, you gotta be kidding. Okay. Like everything that I wanted to disqualify with, because I thought surely this will just go so far, and I'll be able to just say, oh, that place didn't work,
Yeah.
So,
and then they had another dog trainer reach out to rent their house and even offered to pay more money. And then
pretty sure we know who that was.
Pretty sure we do. But they prayed about it. Yep. And the Holy Spirit told them that it was us, that we were the ones that needed to be here. And they went from being clients to being our landlords to being friends and prayer warriors with us, like prayer partners with us. And just like the sweetest people and the best landlords.
Yeah, so much. They're friends of ours.
We've really lucked out with landlords over the years. I think we've always had really great landlords.
We have. We try to be great landlords too, though. So there's that.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's where we're at, guys. We're back here. Now we're in this house, been here for years, and Jailex is home. Jailex is living life, and things are really good. And we're celebrating. We're celebrating all the time, everywhere. If you look in the background right now, there's Jailex. Wave, Jailex. That's his morning look. But so we're going to come back on the next episode, and we're going to talk about what we were kind of going through as far as celebrating, feeling like we were like this was it.
Yeah.
All right. So hang out with us, guys. And the next episode is really going to talk a lot about coming into kind of now, celebrating into finding out yet again, here we are. And we're going to talk about the difference, why it was okay to celebrate, why we're okay to identify the miracle that was done and the miracles that have been done, even though here we are again. All right. Yeah. So we'll talk to you guys soon. See you on the next episode.